It's me. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the start of the week show. It's the Rhino Comic Report, and basically what it is just a bunch of folks on here acting goofy. So I had a couple of packages that I'm going to open up. This is a book from a seller that everyone's probably bought from on eBay, and this is going to be some fun stuff right here. I can't wait to share all this stuff. But before we get into that, I do have a special guest for tonight. I've been trying to add special guests, and sometimes they're more special than others. Tonight's, I'll let you be the judge of that. But tonight's guest has been a buddy of mine, and again, he's a guy from the community that I've gotten to know and become friends with, and I've never even shaken his hand. But a lot of you guys have known him. If you're in Facebook land and you buy books, you probably bought it from this guy, and if not, maybe you saw him at your local pub drinking a whiskey with you or something. Who knows? But yeah, so we're gonna introduce our buddy Jeffrey Chewning. Look at this guy.
Can you see me? Am I in?
That's what she said.
Oh man.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, bro?
Good. How you doing?
I'm just glad that we could figure this all out.
Yeah, dude, it's cool. I'm glad that you're able to join the show. And we've been trying to work this out between your extremely busy schedule and my extremely busy schedule.
Yeah, between not sleeping and being drunk, it's hard to find the time.
Right. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I'm really looking forward. I've been looking forward to this for a while. This has probably been one of the more anticipated shows I've had in a while because you're great. You're fun. I know I've been in a lot of your auctions, and obviously that's how I've met you or come to know you. Jeffrey Chewning is the page. That's his name. That's not a business name. Is that your real name?
The business name is Orbitones, as it appears on the screen here, because eBay and PayPal saddled me with that name, and I can't change it unless I apparently send them paperwork. So if you ever buy a thing from Jeffrey Chewning, the invoice from PayPal says Orbitones, and it's very confusing if people don't understand. So figured yeah.
So, Jeffrey Chewning is the real name of this.
Yeah, I go live from my personal page. I don't have a business page. I'm not classy like Rhino's collectible extravaganza. Also, I got to ask real quick, is this a PC show? Like, are kids watching? Because
I have no idea. I don't have a rating on it, so it's unrated.
That's not my thing.
Yeah. I figured I kind of did the more later on thing. So I had, it's funny because I recently got a message from YouTube that one of my shows was reported and was removed, which I have no idea. Only thing I could think of was that maybe it was because I had my mini-me with me, and I have no idea. But they removed it, and I haven't got a chance to really look into why they removed it. But
usually
I don't think it could be content.
It's tits. It's always tits.
Yeah, I think Riker was showing his boobies, so maybe that's what it is. We already got people on it. There you go. We're already shut down. We got some people in the chat already in here. Look, Mr. Prodigal Son himself, the Spears. Is this Spears is real?
That Spears is shit. He's got a fucking handle now too.
I think so. I think that's Spears. Spears, is this you? You make yourself aware. I know this guy is always up in the chat, Mr. Cameron. He says, "What up, gangsta?"
Oh, it's my favorite dick.
David's up there. David, when I first saw your avatar, I didn't know it was that dude. I thought it was someone like doing like this or something.
Cringe. Oh, you're showing your age, Hayslip.
Huh?
You're a baby.
I think we've discussed this. I'm as old as you are. We're the same age.
Shut the fuck up.
I didn't even eat Old
Wait.
man, rice pudding.
I gotta start saying shut the front door. I need to curb it.
Shut the front door and keep the back one shut too, because it's be stank up in here.
Oh, trust me, I've been locked down for a while.
So is this? Have you done anything to your hair? Have you cut it? Have you went out to get it cut or anything? Or is this natural tuning hair? Because everyone's bitching because they can't go to the barbershop to get their hair cut.
Do you see?
I mean, it looks pretty. I mean, it looks dapper to me.
Oh, look at that!
Look how many people would pay to have that.
Like I stuck a fork in a light socket.
So it is the prodigal son. It is Spears, and he said no fake slushers. Spears said it was him that has changed. He has made a name from some stuff. You all don't know Spears. He runs in our groups too. I guess you can now check his stuff out at Prodigal Son Comics and Review.
Evidently, Spears is now one of us.
Yeah. So
us.
For some reason, you have to attest to be some person at Facebook. So this particular individual, what's up? We don't know who you are, but we appreciate you coming in because you're saying what's up. But you can your
Facebook user.
Say what your name is, or attest or be whatever you have to do to get on there. So
wrong show. Just letting you know right now.
Was that?
It's not going to be good for anybody.
Looks like Wolfman in mid-transformation.
Yeah, I mean, I used to get some fucking Grizzly Adams references back in the day. That's an old reference for people, but he lived out in the woods with animals. And yeah, it can get pretty bouffant. At one point, I was going for the Giorgio Tsoukalos, if you're an Ancient Aliens fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of the look I'm going for.
Cameron has made us aware that Gene was that Facebook user.
Oh, it's Gino. Gene the Machine Roselle.
He does it. He says that I do the Saturday show with Chewning here.
Nah, no.
So before we get
my coattails, Gene.
I think you're on both each other's coattails.
No,
so
it's coattails.
We want to know about Little Chewning. When did you start doing some comic stuff? What is this something you've always done since you were a youngster, or what?
Oh man, my first.
Why you do that? I'm gonna start opening this one, by the way, y'all.
Yeah, you open that, and I'll talk about why I got into this goddamn insanity. I think it was Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #1, off of a comic book spin rack at 7-Eleven, circa 1980, I think. So I was like 5 years old. And,
were you buying Slurpees at that 7-Eleven too?
Oh, I got Slurpees and donut holes. I was a fat kid. I was a very fat kid.
Were you really?
Oh, God, dude. I had a rat tail and knockoff Simpsons t-shirts from the flea market.
That's awesome.
You know, where it's like Bert Simpson, you know, like
Bert Simpson.
Oh, no copyright infringement over here.
Yeah, right.
Hey, don't eat a calf, man. Like, but yeah, my old man.
I used to have some of those knockoff ones. I can't remember what they used to say. Some weird stuff on them.
Yeah, you know, it's like Fochi instead of Gucci, and Folex instead of Rolex. Yeah. Yeah. But my old man took me to the 7-Eleven, and I saw that, and I was just like, I like this Spooner man. He seems like a cool dude. And that's it. And obviously now, I mean, fucking Spider-Man is #1 for me. It's pretty much the only thing that I actually care about keeping at this point. Because, you know, I spent the last 35 years putting that collection together. So,
yeah, I mean, I'll say that very rarely in Spears chimes in here. Oh my God, a rat tail reference. Yes. I feel like we should have done a bingo. That would have been hilarious to do like a bingo thing for the show. But
every time I make a reference to something,
yeah.
people were born.
Someone wins a game. It wins the comic at the end. But
I'm gonna hold up a pencil and a cassette tape and be like, "What do these things have in common?"
Yeah,
that's the verification process.
Spider-Man. You did Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Now, but you and I are, I think we're the same age. Superman was real big too, back in those days. Superman was bigger than Spider-Man was.
I mean, Superman was huge in the 90s, like that. The whole death of Superman thing, the whole getting married to Lois Lane. I mean, but if it takes you 50 years, to marry your girlfriend. I was like, I thought me taking 5 years to marry my girlfriend was a long wait.
Well, I think it's because Christopher Reeves and that Superman. I remember that show. Like, I thought that was the coolest movie ever, and that's when I guess DC was a tougher competitor than they are today, probably back then in those days. But because I remember watching Superman. Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was hot.
Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman. I mean, they're always going to be popular. No one's ever going to not like those characters.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that over the years, DC has not been able to corral the same talent that Marvel has. Right. They don't offer the same draw as far as the freedom to do certain things. I mean, those characters are all stable. You can't fuck with Superman so much. You can't mess with Batman. He's got to kind of be that guy.
Yeah, the thing with Superman is that he's so strong and so OP that it doesn't even make sense sometimes. No one can beat Superman. And you had the kryptonite,
Yeah, it's like, thank God for kryptonite and magic.
Man, what?
Like, he's susceptible to two things: kryptonite and magic.
Magic.
So it's like, out of the entire DC universe, one of the only people who could take him down is Zatanna.
Now, let me think. Did Batman was out first, and then someone talked about Arnold and was Mr. Freeze. Arnold was Mr. Freeze, but I was thinking even further back than the Batman stuff. Now, when Batman,
I'm gonna put you in the cooler.
The Penguin, they threw everything but the kitchen sink at that one. They're like, oh, we're gonna put all these, and this is gonna be a hit on all these villains.
Hey, that's an ice outfit.
That's an ice outfit.
That was the worst pile of dog do.
That was, dude.
I mean, oh my God, man, you're gonna wait.
It was a huge letdown from where it came from.
And Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy? Come on, man. How do you mess that up?
They butchered that. I'm
gonna put you on ice.
So you're in Spider-Man now. But Star Wars really well, and I feel like you have a passion for Star Wars. Yay or nay?
Right. Yeah.
Now, is that why you have a Wookiee as an avatar?
Come on, man. My last name is Chewning.
I know. I'm just joking.
Everybody and their grandmother called me Chewbacca from 1978 on. So.
Oh, I think that was just because the way you look.
Oh, you got jokes. Yeah.
Just joking, buddy.
Sorry, I should have cleaned myself up for this monumental occasion. Yes.
It's monumental.
It's like going to my cousin's wedding.
Smack.
Oh man, sorry I look like crap.
No, I'm not saying that. You're hairy.
Only up here, man. Everywhere else is waxed.
Oh, nice. That's an image I can never get out of my mind now. Great.
I want to hone in on that.
So, I heard there's some news with the Boba. I don't know, like real
Boba Fett
current
is in the second season of The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and that's the greatest news I've ever heard.
I watched the first one, it was really good. I definitely felt like I've lost touch with with Star Wars a little bit. I used to watch it. I was a big fan when I was younger, and I got it seemed like there was a big time. Well, there was a big, huge chunk of time when there was nothing going on, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden,
we call those the dark days. It was from
or what was that thing? That guy's name?
It was from 1983 to 1999, where there was nothing Star Wars related coming out. You had a couple of novels here and there. You had they reissued some of the toys and stuff, but there was no new movies talked about. There was no television. There was nothing. And then Lucas decided, hey, I'm going to go back and destroy your childhood and make this prequel trilogy that sucks.
So, do you feel like what was that? Jar Jar Binks was partly the downfall of everything. I had to bring him up.
Oh, Misa don't know. Misa just stereotype. Oh my God.
Yeah. So you used to did you collect like hardcore when you were a kid? And you're all Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So you have like a really super deep collection. I mean, I've never seen it personally, but it's something to pull out and work with. And usually that's what you have to work with, and it's not out of your PC. It trips me out. It's pretty deep.
At one point, I was approached to open an actual storefront, just based on the stuff that I have. It's like, oh, you could stock a store just right now, and I was like, that's the worst idea in the world, because especially now, like we're looking at the end of the goddamn industry as it is. So opening a store seemed like a bad idea. I did own a game store for a while. That was fun.
Yeah,
I had fun with that, because I'm also surprisingly a Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering nerd. So I cross
paths there, eh?
Crossover, yes. Yeah. I don't just collect comics, ladies. I also play games.
Well, that's a lot. That's what tempting.
I don't know.
So,
how
you had a shop.
I've ever been laid or got married. I don't know how it happened. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Alcohol.
If you came to my house right now. Oh my God.
Alcohol.
Yeah. So they weren't drinking though. I was. I guess.
That means they're taking advantage of you then.
More interesting.
I had to get them intoxicated.
Yeah, no, you shed the inhibitions, and all of a sudden the nice guy comes out, and you don't talk about comic books. I don't know.
The thing is, when we're in school, they're like, "Hey, if you drink alcohol, you lose your inhibitions." I'm like, oh, "That's the best piece of information I've found out. I'm gonna go buy some this weekend." Like, God just made it easy for me to get
past the fact that I'm a fucking nerd.
So, how extensive do you think your books are, and how many thousands? Because I know you got thousands at least.
No, I can't even venture a guess. I really can't. At this point, I keep looking off to the side because I keep looking at the piles and piles of books around me. I wouldn't know what I had.
You have, I mean, it's impressive. If none of y'all have ever been to Chewning or seen Chewning's auction, he usually go Saturdays is normally when I see him on, and I'm always amazed by like how he can just pull stuff out. And I'm sure you've all heard my story about how I got my 300. I've told it on this channel quite a few times, and I've talked about Chewning, and this is the guy that really that was the main person that got it hooked up for me. So and that was like just the tip of just a smidgen of what he has. 300. I think you have a number of different ones from what I've seen.
Yeah.
300, 61s, and all that stuff.
Yeah, the one in my
the
one in my PC is signed by McFarlane. That's the one I'm keeping.
Yeah. Well, I would keep that one too. But I'm so appreciative that you did do that. Was one of the. I've used that story multiple times in many different areas and different shows because it was just one of the coolest moments in my collection in the past couple of years.
It's one of those things, man. I mean, I think that most of the people that know me, that watch the shows, know that I'm more about the collecting aspect, and I'm more about people getting stuff that they're interested in than I am about turning a fucking dime on it, because money's money. It comes and goes, but this stuff going to people that genuinely care about it and are going to keep it, hold on to it, and treasure it, that's worth way more than an extra couple of bucks on something, That's how I think about it. Maybe, a guy that's off the beaten path and not trying to like nickel and dime everybody, but it's more fun for me that way.
I feel like you like the hobby, and you want to be you promote it, so you're trying to help those that are in the hobby, that are doing it for like the, I don't want to say right reasons, but they're doing it for the collectible and the enjoyment of it. You're kind of and then the person that's just trying to flip a book to make $1. I'm
not going to tell anybody what the right reason is. Everyone has their own reasons for collecting. And there's a lot of flippers. There's a lot of guys who only collect, variants or exclusives or stuff like that. There's a lot of guys who only collect Silver Age books. I mean, you're going to have people who have different reasons for being in the hobby.
Yeah, there's different niches.
Yeah, having grown up, going to flea markets and going to conventions held in hotel basements and VFW halls and like scouring for books before the internet existed. I understand now it's a lot easier for people to be in this hobby because you have access to so much easily. Whereas, growing up, I had to go and hustle for this stuff.
Yeah.
So, maybe certain things mean more to me than they do to, current buyers, but to each their own. I mean, like I said, my Spider-Man stuff means everything to me, and I'm going to hold on to it until the heat death of the universe. I'm not going to sell that stuff unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other stuff that I picked up along the way that doesn't mean anything because it's just like, oh, well, I got it in a long box, or I randomly picked it up because I thought it looked cool. So, we all have the same tendencies. A lot of people will just glom onto a character like you.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I mean, if you're like, I'm the Venom guy and everyone knows you're the Venom guy, you go into an auction and they're like, hold on, I found these Venom. Ryan, I found these Venom for you. I do hate that. That's
I hate what?
I hate when I got back into buying, because I was out for a while, and I got back in pretty deep last year. Everyone knew I collected Spider-Man, so I would go into auctions, and like the entire vibe would change. They'd be putting up like, oh, here's Turok, the Dynasty. Oh, wait, hold on. Jeffrey's here. Hold on, Jeffrey. Look what I just found. Look
Spider-Man.
It's a spider. Yeah. Like, don't change your auction because the guy who buys certain books comes in and you want to sell him those books. That doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah, I know. And to answer Dave here, yeah, I primarily it's mostly only Venom, but I've ventured into like some other things like Silver Surfer. I really enjoy. What does he got there? What is that?
Oh, you like Venom, but do you like boobs?
What is that?
It's a Zenoscope.
Zenoscope. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, there is so much Venom out there. There's so much different stuff that I have to be. And I think you know this. I stay in my lane. So like I try to collect virgins only. But if there's not a virgin of that particular book, then I will go to the trade. I'll click the trade. And I'm a completionist, so I'm trying to collect like I have all of Volume 4, and I have all of them. But I don't have I consider all of it when I have the virgin. I don't have the trade of the exact same cover because I don't need two of the same cover.
Oh yeah, in case anyone doesn't know, Hayslip is very particular about the Venom he collects.
But there's a reason.
To the point where I have multiple messages with screen grabs of books that he's looking for, and I was like, "Damn, can you drill it down any tighter, bro?" Like,
well. And I just finished opening up this package, and this was a book I've been waiting to get for a while. It's you have this?
Yeah, I think I sold them.
Yeah, this is the virgin covers of this book. I've been waiting to get these for a while.
Oh, you only got okay.
Yeah. This actually completes this run. I think this is Alpha
Omega
or whatever, one of those two. So that completes. I have now every book in that particular series.
That's
the
Kirkhams, right?
Yeah, these are the Kirkhams, correct. So and the reason why I do is because it's so damn expensive.
Wait,
I don't see how people spend.
The reason why you do?
Yeah, the reason why I do. Oh, here's the honorable mention.
Is because
I got these today too. From a guy off of OfferUp. It's a cool little. I think it's a 1 in 50. This is a second print, and I got this for an unbelievable deal, and that's more of a reason because I am actually going to. I had the version of this, but I'm probably going to sell this one. I got it such a good deal that I'll just turn it for someone that is looking for that book.
I think Crane's doing a signing soon because people have been asking for his books. Crane.
Who's that? Oh, Crane, yeah. So that's awesome. I'll think. Huh?
The guy who drew that cover, the Infinity Gauntlet Venom, that's Clayton Crane.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Crane. I didn't hear what you said. I thought you said Frank. I was like, oh, Frank.
Yeah, no, Frank's doing a signing. He cleans up the toilets at the Wawa down the street, but he's super popular.
So, but the thing is that the Venom stuff is so expensive, and there's a lot of it that I have to kind of stay in my lane. Like I can't venture into Carnage, and I really don't like the Carnage character.
How do you not like Carnage?
What?
Carnage is way cooler than Venom. Just my personal opinion.
I think it's too violent.
Exactly. He's sociopathic. It's amazing. That was the greatest idea ever. Have a piece of the symbiote infect a serial killer and give him that power to just go bonkers with. That's crazy. Like, I hate what they've done.
So I believe
I
believe my wife has infiltrated the situation here. I can't see this. I think my wife has infiltrated the situation here because she said, for some reason her names are coming up. I love you too, babe. Or that's right. I don't know. Someone asked her, why like virgins? Do you not like the words? The virgins I like because they're just cleaner. I like the artwork on it, especially Venom has a lot of good artwork, so that's why I like those.
I mean, I can second that. The Virgin covers, especially on those types of books where the artwork is obviously front and center, it's just a much prettier picture to look at. So I can get that.
So
Again,
yeah, but so like I was saying, the Venom stuff, it's hard to get, especially at a good price, because it is a hot item, and so that's why I try to stick to my lane. I know a lot of folks do like Carnage because he's extreme and he's got a lot of violence or whatever, and that's popular nowadays. But I liked Venom when I was a kid, and that's the reason why I got it. I was nostalgic when I first started, when I got back into collecting.
right.
So when I got back into it, I was like, well, I did it because my son, basically. So I didn't do it for a long time. I did it when I was younger. I didn't do it for a long time. I was a musician and all that stuff. And then my wife and I moved to the house we're at now, and where she was like, there was a comic shop around the way. I was like, I'm going to go to it. So I went, came back, and she's like, what'd you get in the bag? I was like, oh, I was like, a couple of comic books. She's like, why? Just nostalgic purposes. And she's like, oh, you think your kids would want to read them? And I was like, if we ever have any. She was like, well, if you got one now. So that's how she told me that Riker was on the way. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, then I'm going to collect books now and with the purpose of trying to pass them along to him. So that's one of my reasons for doing it. But I really enjoyed Venom, and it gives me something kind of – and you know what another reason is? Spider-Man, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I have most of them.
I admire that, because I'd say it's almost impossible. It'd be almost impossible to collect all of them. But I felt like Venom was a character that would be attainable to get all the books.
Well, you're dealing with, not a book that started in 1962. So yes, yeah, it's a little easier to get all of them. But the way that Marvel puts books out now, like, there's so many crossovers, there's so many variants, there's so many covers, there's so much bullshit that you have to hunt down how many different, like, exclusives, right? Waiting online in a virtual, room to buy a book that's going to sell out in minutes, and then have to chase it down on the secondary market for 3 times as much. It kind of ruins that collecting aspect. It makes it seem like some of this stuff that came out yesterday is unattainable.
Yeah.
And,
so
when we were going, it was either on the shelf or on the rack, or it wasn't. Like, you didn't have a choice. You had a pull box at a comic shop to make sure that you got your stuff. And, you would just go and pick it up. Everything was fine. Now it just seems that everything is so scatterbrained, and you can't pay attention to how many people are putting out different exclusives and different covers and this, that, and the other thing. I kind of gave up on trying to get all of the modern ASM stuff, because it's just impossible. There's too much.
It's crazy, and it's still being crazy. I know you're not a fan of variants, and me too. I like it's okay if it's
variants.
But why do you hate variants? And then I'll tell you the reason why I don't like it.
Oh, this is going to be the discussion of the evening, I think.
And I'm opening this box here.
And it's going to be full of variants. I can't wait.
It is. Oh, let me see what. Real quick before you get into that, because I'm here. Dave says, same here. I love Venom. Hate Carnage. Venom is a hero. Carnage is a murderer. We're on the same page. All right. So David and I are on the same page.
Venom is a hero now. Marvel turned Venom into an anti-hero and then a hero, because Carnage was the guy that Venom was supposed to be. And they backed off on it because they wanted more a younger audience to buy Venom. That was the only reason why it changed. That character was originally developed to hate Peter Parker, to hunt down Spider-Man and Mary Jane, to do everything he could to kill him, and then they flipped the script when they introduced Carnage, and now all of a sudden Venom's an anti-hero, and now all of a sudden they're best buddies. Him and Peter Parker hang out and have pizza.
I recently read the volume 1, and that was pretty. It was pretty violent. It was pretty like. I was like, wow, this is like it was a lot darker of a book than I had been used to as of recently, and the only thing that really sucked about that volume 1 was that Scotty Young did a lot of the artwork. I just can't stand his artwork. God, his artwork's terrible. But tell me, your dislike for variants, why?
I mean, it's not too it's not too difficult for me. Variants, in my mind, ruin the actual collecting of comic books. When you put out a book and the intention is, we have created this for you to read and to enjoy the artwork and to, like this character. And then the only way that you can move that book is to make 14 different covers for it. No, because books used to sell back in the day and they had one cover.
Yeah, I mean that, and I wouldn't mind a variant, and maybe one that was like a low print run or something along that lines. But it is very obvious that it is a money grab.
Right, you're making it. You're taking something from being a hobby, that people enjoy amassing this collection. Like, okay, for example, you and Venom, right? You want the run, you want this, you want this collection. But then if you want that run, do you then decide that you want all 75 other covers in the run? Do you have to get all of those too? Is the run
that's my problem. I'm a completionist. But that's why I went to only virgins, because then if I only do virgins, at least I cut it down there.
Here's a for example. Disney did an exclusive cover that was limited to the D23 convention that they hold every year. That book is selling on eBay for close to $3,000 because it was exclusive to that convention. If you didn't get to that, and it was limited too, obviously.
Yep. When was this?
Marvel Comics 1000.
Oh yeah.
And they did an exclusive cover that was only available at that convention. So if you missed out on it, the secondary market goes from, it costs $25 at the show to $3,000 on eBay. So if you're a completionist, are you going to spend that money to get that one cover? Because your collection's not complete without that cover.
Well, exactly.
It's just a cash grab. I mean, that's all it is. That's all it has been for the last decade.
But if it's a cash grab in that scenario, they got $25, but that 33,000 or whatever in a secondary market is not going to Marvel. It's going to whoever has the book. But it's like, well, they're like, okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll put out a ton of variants because that's how we're going to make money, because people want all the covers. Because then that becomes a collection. Having to get all the covers is like so you said everyone collects for different reasons. That is a collection reason. They're collecting only the variants.
Right. And I mean, and it's not new. Like this mentality of making multiple covers and variants and exclusive, it's not new. It's not, specifically the last decade. In the 90s when Gen 13 came out, you remember Gen 13?
The names, I don't know, but like
it was one of J. Scott Campbell's first books.
Okay,
he was artist on.
Mhm.
So Gen 13, the 13th issue of the book, because it was Gen 13, had 13 covers.
There's
All
one
of
book that 13 covers.
Yeah, 13 different covers, different artists on each cover, right? And it was like it was just it's the 13th issue of Gen 13. We're gonna do 13 covers. It was like, oh, okay, that's cute. They were all issued at the same ratio. It wasn't like one was harder to get than the other. Stores were sent the same number of each. Now, the way the industry works, it's like, okay, well, this one is available for every 10 copies you order. And this one's available for every 20. And this one's available for every 50 and 100 and that becomes insanity at that point. Because you're forcing a store to order 1,000 copies of a book that they know they're not going to move through just to get one cover that they know they can flip, for $1,000 or however much they can get for it.
And end up losing in the long run anyway.
But that's the thing, is that is where they're making their money. That's what you have to understand. Because you said it's like, oh, well, it's the secondary market. No. It's them issuing these books at a ratio so that the company, whoever's buying the books to resell has to buy 1,000 copies of something that Marvel knows there's no way anyone's going to buy 1,000 copies of that from one shop. They know that. Look at Absolute Carnage.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you do look at Absolute Carnage, there was tons and tons of covers on that. And so when you like ratio variants, 1 in 100, 1 in 200, people try to sell those at ratio sometimes or whatever, which I think is off nowadays. I think it's got to be less than that, but less than like a 1 in 100 going for $100.
People try to sell them dollar to dollar.
Yeah, but because people are, I don't know if everyone's taking into consideration that if you see a 1 in 100 and you had the Absolute Carnage scenario, there was a lot of different covers. So if a store, they're not going to buy 100 copies of one cover, but they might buy 15 covers of like 15 of 6 different covers.
But that's not how it works.
It does.
No. If you're a retailer and you're putting your order through Diamond, and Diamond says, hey, we have these variants available, they're ratio variants. Every 50 copies you order, you get one of this.
Correct. But if there's 4 or 5 covers you can order from, and you order 6 of all those covers, you order 10 of those, then like let's say there's 5 covers, and you order 10. That's 50 covers right there, because
right, of it depends on if those covers are just straight variants that you can order 1 to 1, or if the ratio variants. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So like for Absolute Carnage, yes, there were I think 5 variants that were 1 to 1 that you could just order, and then stack all right, so I'll get 10 of each of these 5. So that puts me at 50. So I get one of the 1 in 50.
Yeah.
But when they're reaching out and going to the 200, 1,000, I mean,
1,000 and 2,000 is crazy. And there is 1,000, 2,000. Like there's Venom books. There's a Venom. I actually have 1 in 1,000, but it wasn't because I got it. It's because I had a good friend gift it to me.
The black and white McFarlane one?
Correct.
Yeah.
But then there's other ones that I just know I have them. I don't even have them on my like my looking for list, because I know that I'm never going to get them. I'm never going to put the money out for that kind of stuff unless I get like a ton of books to trade for it or something like that.
But that book has no inherent value outside of the ratio.
Yeah. No,
right?
It's
not worth money because it's a first appearance, or it's a limited edition, or it's fucking Silver Age or Golden Age. These books are creating value on the back end of just being hard to get and people not
manufactured value.
But that's inflated. It's fake value. It doesn't
fake value for sure.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to me. Will I sell them? Fuck yeah, I'll sell them.
Yeah. I mean,
David Truett, I'm going to correct you on the What If Venom Possessed Deadpool. That book has value because it was underprinted. It was at a time when the What If books were not being produced. They only made a couple thousand copies of that book. So it was already hard to get. And then you add to the fact that Scotty did the cover and it's iconic at this point. That's why that book has value. But I do understand people saying, like, why is this worth $400? I mean,
but you like, so that's a great point. There's a reason why that one is there. And it's something that no one paid attention to. It was probably up there for a while. I didn't really get a big print run, but now it's like, oh, there's nothing that's. Have you read that issue? There's nothing that's significant happened in that issue.
No.
It's hilarious. If you haven't read that, y'all, if y'all haven't read that book, you need to get it digitally and freaking read it. It is hilarious.
Because it's Deadpool, and
Deadpool
is good.
Spend the kind of money to complete their collection, and so that's where I'm at. And so I have to accept the fact that I will never get every book because I'm not gonna get pay those. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have watch lists on eBay of like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000.
Right.
But I have my limit of where I'm gonna. And one day, I feel like one day they'll fall into a parameter of where I want them to be, and it'll be good.
Well, I'll tell you straight up, you'd be a goddamn idiot if you spent what those people are asking on those books.
It's crazy.
Because they're not going to retain that value. They can't.
Yeah.
As this industry goes forward and whatever manifestation it takes, because we honestly don't know at this point. You know, the companies seem to be leaning more towards digital distribution. Printing lower print runs on books because there's not enough stores that are buying. I think that, everyone should invest if you're looking to invest and not just collecting, but you're just like, oh, well, I look at, comics like it's the stock market. Then you got to buy Apple, you got to buy Microsoft.
No, you don't buy, but that's the thing.
Don't invest in these fly-by-night things where it's like, oh, this 1 in 1,000 book, it's worth $1,000. No, it's not. It's worth $1,000 if someone's willing to pay $1,000 for it. You know what's worth $1,000? Hulk 181 is worth $1,000 forever. It's never going to be worth less than $1,000.
Comics is very much like the stock market. I'm a financial planner by profession, and it is very much like the market. And it's like you have to.
I'm teaching you something, Ryan.
Yeah.
New.
Yeah, showing me. But it is like it's like
I too am a financial planner. I plan to blow all my money on comic books and booze.
Nice. Well, there you go. You planned it. At least having a plan is the first part of it.
Salud.
I got my Red Bull. I shouldn't really be drinking tonight. But
I can't be on camera sober, bro. You know that.
So, I forgot where I was going, but you do have to find those. You have to kind of. I watch the market and I try to see where the ebbs and flows are at, and I try to. You do have to try. No one can predict the stock market, and I don't think anyone can predict the comic book market. And it's just I think you can look at history and see what's hot and who has the more potential to write stuff or draw stuff that's going to do well, but like right currently Knowles blowing up like crazy, right?
Yeah, and you're hedging your bet,
blowing up quite crazy. Now I've been watching that character for a while, and I felt like that was a good character to get. So I got all the books from Silver Surfer Black, like the Peach Momokos and this, And I got it because it's a character that came from the Venom era, and that's like, okay, cool, I'll get that. But it's crazy to see. I had an inkling that that's what it is. I have an inkling about that. My current inkling is the Wraith. I think that's going to go get crazy. And then my next one, it's kind of might be far fetched, but it's
Spider-Man.
You know, the Venom series, Enemy Within.
Is it Moon Girl?
No.
Moon Girl?
Moonshine.
Moon Girl? Hell Cow?
How cow now, brown cow?
Hedging our bets on Hell Cow? Because he's supposed to be in that cartoon.
I'm telling you, I think that Enemy Within, I bet you in 2 or 3 years, right now it's like you can buy it, you can get in a dollar bin.
Yeah, I probably got 5 sets of it.
And I bet in 2 or 3 years that thing's going to go crazy because they're bringing in Morbius. And if they do Morbius and Venom together somehow.
Oh, for God's sakes, look at ASM 101. Look at the numbers on first appearance of Morbius. That book has jumped like 500% in the last couple of months.
Yeah. Well, movie situation. It hasn't even shown yet, but yeah. So see, product Spears, thank you. Correct. No value other than rarity.
I don't know what Spears is trying to say.
The new GL Corp members, Bluge.
Oh, that's Spears. That sounds more like Spears.
I was say what I got in this box here.
Being an asshole.
So this is something that I saw. I found a good deal on. So these are things that are actually going up for sale. But
I need to acquire. Oh wow, hold on. What is that? What do you got there?
It's gonna be going for sales.
That. Oh, this guy. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So I found a good deal on this deal right here. It's the Kirkham. You can see he's signed right here.
Yeah.
9.8. It's a good little book there. ASM. You know that ASM stuff really well.
Yeah, I like my Kirkham.
Yep. So got this one, but you're really gonna like these next two that I'm gonna show you. Oh, now I get it here. See, check this one out right here. Here's another. This is a triple signed.
Enough with the 300 homages. Enough.
I'm tired of it too. I'm tired of it as well. But this is a triple signed Kate's with Mayhew, and it actually's got a cool silver Stegman. These is books that will be in someone else's hand at some point because I plan on just selling these.
Them's them good books. Got them.
And I got them good books.
Them's good books.
And here's the last one. Someone will probably really be excited about this one. Triple signed from it's Absolute Carnage 1. Triple signed with Scan, Stegman, and Cates.
I was wondering who the top autograph was. Scan, okay.
Yeah, Scan. That guy's he's tough to get because he's in a different part of the world. I'm not big on signatures. To be honest with you, I
New Zealand.
He's no, he's in Thailand. It's like Thailand or something.
Kazakhstan. Is he the best prostitute in Kazakhstan?
Yeah. So we're closing in on an hour, and I try to keep it an hour show to be respectful of everyone's time, whatnot. So tell me a little bit. No, I got it, and I had it before we move on completely. The variant thing. I think that it's completely ridiculous that Venom 25. I did a list of all the covers there are.
72.
There's
72.
72 covers.
Yeah,
close. There's 22 covers, not including there's 22. Actually, there's 25 covers. So maybe they did 25 covers for number 25, but there's 25 different covers. It's crazy. There's 25 freaking different
It's
covers.
not counting every single exclusive being put out by every comic book shop that bought an exclusive.
I mean, and so like there's 25 covers, and there's one I was like, well, the 1-in-100s are going to be like a $40 book because people are going to be the shop buys, if they buy one of every cover, that's 25 right there almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not all going to be ratioed because that includes all the exclusives and whatnot. But there's just so many covers. I think there's 6 that are from Marvel. 6 covers from Marvel. They buy 10 of each cover, which they will sell out. That's 60 right there. So the 1-in-100s are going to be like $40 books.
You remember when they did the Absolute Carnage with the Bagley secret sketches inside?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And there were like 25 secret sketches. I think they found half of them. So there's still like a dozen secret sketches out there.
That's on the Carnage one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That if those books sold out, that everyone would have found all of the sketches. There's still boxes of that book sitting in Diamond's warehouse that they didn't sell through.
You
they
think?
Probably have those sketches in them. They're just sitting there.
I know. I went through. I heard that. I started going back and trying to find other people's. But I'm like, how? Maybe there's some people that just didn't hear about it and they don't know anything about it.
No, not in this industry, man. You hear about everything. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. So tell us a little bit about what you got coming on. What do you want? What do you want? Do you want people to come look at your show? Do you want people to? You want to do a shout out? What else you got going on?
Well, I mean, shout out to Ryan Hayslip and his fantastic review show.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
I think that that you have come into this guns blazing and done a fantastic job. I approve. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Shout out to Mike Prodigal Son Spears because he's a piece of shit and everyone should follow him just so that you can understand how big a piece of shit he is.
Yeah. Get to know him.
Yeah, shout out to me because I'm goddamn awesome and I sell books for cheap. And you all already know that because you follow me, I would hope.
Yeah.
Gene Roselle, thanks for coming in, stopping by. Gene and I do Saturday nights together for the most part. When we're sufficiently inebriated. If either of us is sober, it's not a good show.
It adds to the allure of it all.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good community.
I've been part of tons and tons of groups because there's a million of them out there, and everyone and their dog is trying to sell a book. And I've always been very put my stake ground. I'm not a seller. I might sell some books, but I'm not a seller. I don't want to be a seller. I'll leave that to the professionals like yourself.
No, it's not fun. This is fun.
Yeah,
hanging out and
bullshitting, just chilling.
Yeah, talking about books. This is fun. Selling stuff, having a hustle like that it's not as much fun. It really isn't.
I'll leave that to you guys, and so it does, and I think a lot. I work a lot with Outcast and with Nolan and help him a little bit on, as a private employee of his and his business. And I learned a lot about how things are ordered, how the industry works, and there's a lot of things you have to kind of watch. There's a lot of people you kind of have to watch, but then there's also the pockets of good people that you kind of stay around. And I'll say that you guys are a bunch of good folks, and so I really appreciate. Like I don't being that I have collected so many books. I have almost 1,000 books with I'm 955 I think with Venom in it, and I'm gonna do something special when I turn to 1,000. But
yeah, I heard you say that the other night in somebody's auction, and like, what was it? Lamont lost his mind because he's the other Venom guy, and he's just you got 1,000.
Blah. But and so when I go to, like you were saying, when I go to auctions, it's like it's difficult because there's nothing. It's hard for me to find something to go get there. But I like to be in them because I like to hang out with everyone, talk crap, everyone, talk shop, see what's going on. It helps me keep up. He keeps me in touch with what's going on, what's hot in the community, what people are looking at, stuff like that too. So it's fun. You guys are definitely a good pocket of folks to check out.
We try to, I think that me and Gene and obviously Kevin Johnson, everybody knows Kevin. We try to do these shows to get you guys, good stuff for not a lot of money. Hang out, have fun, joke around, just kind of keep it lively because I watch a lot of auctions where it's dry, man, and it's just like book after book after book on the table, and there's no comment, nothing. It's like what's fun about that?
Exactly, and that's why I like and I'll say that you're the most and not because you're here, but you're one of the most entertaining when it comes to auctions that I know. No one does a good he does fun games that makes it very entertaining. Gene's he's just out there. That guy's just always got something crazy going on or saying. So and I again at the base of it, you are good people, and that's so that then you can relax and know that okay, I'm with good folks and I can enjoy the humor and the comedy that's going on around it too.
Yeah, I mean it again, it's like you're gonna get comics, you're gonna get good deals, you're gonna get good books, but you can get that anywhere. I mean, there's thousands of goddamn auctions on Facebook. Any given night, you can find a show to go into and just buy good books. So it's like, what makes other shows stand out? The community, the interaction, just trying to have fun with it. That's why I appreciate what you do. Because you make. You're buying stuff and it's your collection and it's important to you, and then putting it out there and sharing it with people and talking about the industry and it just makes it more entertaining,
Yeah, it's just fun. It's a fun industry and you should be having fun with it. That's the fun hobby.
I don't think comic book collecting is fun, but I try.
I love it. I love the hunt. The hunt is so much fun for me.
It's a job. It's a job at this point. It's legit.
Yeah, and that's where you got to take a break.
No, I took a break. I took a break for like a month last month. So back on the saddle.
CBCS or CGC? Who do you prefer?
Who?
CBCS or CGC?
There's no competition. It's CGC all the time.
Why?
They are the oldest in the business. They are the most well-known. They are the most consistent and the most popular. It's kind of hard to argue with. CBCS is doing their work and trying to compete, but if I see the difference between those labels, I'm just like, I'll take CGC every day.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of I like CGC. Obviously, got the CGC cover slabs. I'm a big fan of CBCS, and I think that in the future they'll be the leader. And
there's no way to tell it. The services that they're offering are a little more convenient than what CGC does. They're a little easier to deal with, so I think people are leaning towards them now because they don't want to go through the hassle and the bull crap that CGC puts on you. But at the end of the day, I mean, you can go back through sales for a year, and a CGC book at the same grade will outsell a CBCS book every day.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
So this is your hot cold take, everyone, or a hot cold type thing. You can get the same CGC same book if it's CGC and CBCS. You'll get the CBCS one cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But in the future, it may be worth more because if people start leaning more toward them, because they are popular right now, and you can make more money on. You can sell a book at a higher amount on a CGC than a CBCS. But as a buyer, I would buy a CBCS because I know that that they have very strong grading practices, especially since the guy from CGC that started CGC is at CBCS. And
they took a lot of the guys from CGC.
Yeah. So anyway, I just thought that was a quick one, just to kind of throw out there and get some food for thought. Civil Man Comics did a really cool interview with the guy that started CGC that went over to CBCS. I can't remember his name, but if you get a minute, if you get a minute, go check it out on Civil Man Comics. They did it last week. It's like an hour-long interview with the guy, the head grader, I guess you'd say, for CBCS, and it's interesting to hear what their thoughts are on the industry, where it's going, and some of the changes coming up. So
I would say that everyone pull your money into PGX, because that guy does slabbing out of his garage.
It's out of his bathroom.
Yeah, he presses the books in his tub
with his butt cheeks.
Yeah, slaps them in his garage, and honestly, you can send him a 2.5. It's going to come back in 11-teen. If you want real return on your investment, PGX is the
real ROI there.
Oh my God, I'm going to start my own slabbing company. I'm just going to wrap everything in saran wrap and be like, put a number, right? Just marker 1911.
You're gonna use letters instead of numbers. Good.
Yeah, no, it's an XLI.
Hey man, appreciate for hanging out tonight. This will not be the only time. Hope you'll come back again. Let's do this again.
Yeah, man, this is fun. I enjoyed the shit out of it. It was a good time.
For sure. Go check out Chewing's Jeffrey Chewning Saturday nights and sporadically throughout the week. You won't be disappointed. It's a lot of fun, guys. And then there's also Gene Roselle and Kevin goes running around with you guys. And we'll have Derek Riley. He's kind of running around that area too.
Derek Riley is the most inconsistent person in the known universe. I thought I was bad at this.
He beat you?
He makes me look like clockwork. But yeah, Derek Riley, he's a good dude, man. I mean, he's got good shit too. He's got good stuff. So
good peoples. But hey, thanks a lot, guys. I'll have something else coming up along in the future. Just subscribe to the channel on YouTube if you get a chance. There's some kind of buttons on there. I don't know all that. I do this for the fun of it, not for the money of it. And hey, we'll see you guys.
He's lying. I had to pay him $100 to be on tonight.
Whatever. Hey, we'll see you guys around like a donut. And yeah.
So Lit Mobile just sent me this solar wireless battery pack. I'm excited. Let's see what's inside.
That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do neither.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is the best show ever. It's so professional.
Professionalism at the best.
Oh, and I thought I didn't know what I was doing.
Come on!